Hey guys, it's Jay. Welcome back to the channel. Um, wow. Um, you know, I didn't think it was real. I didn't think it was real. I thought, it's got to be a mistake. And yeah, it turned out to be correct. It turned out to be real. Um, you know, the voice of Shira. She is the one who actually posted it on her Instagram. And if you can't believe Shira, who can you believe, right? I mean, yeah. For those of you who and I don't know why you wouldn't know. I post it's part of the thumbnail, but John Erwin, He-Man to many of us, as growing up as kids, has he's moved on to Preternia, and he's claimed his great prize. John Erwin has passed. Uh, you know, Master Universe means a lot to a lot of us. Master Universe means a lot to anyone who grew up as a child watching Master Universe and first hearing those words, I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and protector of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. You know what I mean? Guardian of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull, I have the power." No one can replicate that. Cam Clark did a pretty good job. But nobody can replace John Erwin. You know. Um, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what John and his legacy that he leaves behind. What it meant to me really. Um, and I wanted to reference a couple of things from good friends of the channel, like foreturnia.com, who did a great report on this. Wrote an incredible article. I want to cover that, and I want to talk a little bit about some of the surprising things about John Irwin that people don't know. I don't know that much about John Irwin myself. I mean, like he was a very first of all, I think a lot of people wonder why didn't John Irwin show up at any conventions? I mean, Alan Oppenheimer has been at conventions a multitude of times. People got the signatures from Alan, right? People have hung out with Alan. You know what I mean? Like and other cast members. Like Tila has been to conventions, so has Shira. All the other voice cast have had their day with the fans, if you will. Um, but John Irwin was actually a very private person. He didn't really want to mix his personal life with his work life. And he was invited to conventions many times. I think that if any convention was able to get John Irwin, the voice of He-Man, as a guest, I think the lineups would be around the city. You know what I mean? I think people would have come in droves to see John because that is exactly what a lot of people were hoping to see. He was invited, like he was invited to PowerCon. He was invited to so many different places, like San Diego Comic Con, Fan Expo. So many different places wanted to have a chance to bring, John Irwin to their conventions. But he was such a private person, as I understand it. He had his family life, he had his work life, and that was pretty much it. He did not want to mix those two things up. It was not within his. He didn't want to do that, and it takes a strong person to do that. I mean, the allure of money just to sit down and meet your fans and have fun and make money at the same time. That's a big deal. You know what I mean? That's a really big deal. And he was not about that at all. He was a very private person, and he wanted to keep his he wanted to keep his private life private, and that's exactly what he was doing. So I wanted to share some things about John Irwin that I know of. Look at his IMDb profile, see the kind of work that he's done, and of course, go through the article and learn a little bit more about John, and reminisce with you guys about your memories of He-Man and the voice and the performance that John Erwin created in that character, and what that meant to you. You know what I mean? Like, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Like, this is a very personal um, live stream for me, but at the same time, I think it's something we should share. I think the memories that we have of a friend, you know, moving on. As I said, He Man has gone to Preternia, and really he'll never be forgotten, right? So I wanted to try and share that with you guys tonight. Let's take first before we get started. Let's take some messages from the chat. Walter Montier, no, Darth Vader, no. Sad day for all of us. Hope everyone is doing well and thriving. Deepest and most humblest condolences to the MOTU family. Thank you, Walter. Thank you. Like, it's heartbreaking. It really is. We're losing so many great, artists and performers. Shao Kahn, it's a very, very sad day indeed for all of us. Yes, my friend. Jabbar Robbins. John Erwin was a legend. First becoming a success was Reggie on the Archies. That's true. And then as Prince Adam / He-Man. But even before then, he was a veteran actor. He was in many cowboy TV shows. Like rest in peace, John. Yes, rest in peace. Hoopza, no, Huzpaza, Wolveraven, Huzpaza, Wolveraven. I'm trying my best. Man, I didn't know till now. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. We're gonna hear it all about it tomorrow. Tomorrow it's gonna be everywhere. Only you 83. Hello, my friend. How are you tonight? David Kruger. I'm 46, but the child in me is crying his eyes out. Yeah. We're a lot of feels going around tonight. There's gonna be no dry eyes. It's gonna be hard. It really is. David Kruger. It's too bad John was a very private person and never did shows or conventions. He once said of being afraid of letting the fans down. That is, oh crap. That is, he would never let any of us down. He would never have let any of us down. Jason Roggs, I'm upset. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to have these feelings. It's all right. It's all right. Skeletor, John Erwin, the most powerful voice in the universe. Couldn't help but shed a tear for him. He meant a lot to me and my entire life. I wish I could have met him. Rest in peace. Yes, I do too. But he was a very, very private person. Let the power return. And it's funny you should mention that. Because we are going to try, just like we did with Thundercats, to watch a couple episodes tonight. I'm going to be doing a lot of talking and switching. We're going to try and see what happens. But we're going to try because I want to celebrate, the accomplishments of John Erwin. King Panther. Greetings, MJR community. Let's have an awesome live stream. We're going to try. we're going to try. Yes, Panther was announced, and we're going to talk a little bit about that too. You know what? He was our friend, Jason. He-Man, John. They were some of our best friends. Television is a powerful thing. Eric Valdez, what's going on, brother? How you doing tonight? Fulton 72. Rodimus Primal's in the house, guys. If you haven't already, definitely subscribe to Rodimus Primal. If you're into Transformers, you got to check out the man himself. He's doing some amazing things. Glad to see you, Rodimus. Thank you for joining and being here tonight. Thank you so much. David Kruger. Today, I feel so blessed to have grown up in the heyday of the toys in the 1980s. Thank you, David. Yeah, brother. We're all very sad about that. Rodimus, if you want to jump on, send me a PM. Would love to share some memories with you, brother, and talk a little bit about what's going on and how we all got to support each other right now. It's a hard thing, but we all got to support each other. So drop me a line. Actually, I'll send it to you right now, Rodimus. If you want to drop in, you're more than welcome. If not, no worries, it's fine. But I'll send it anyway, just in case. Just in case, you just never know, right? So. You're always welcome. Always welcome. David Kruger. The intro of Adam explaining who he was showed us as kids that we could be normal, but be a hero whenever we wanted to. Master Universe allowed us as kids to, feel powerful, right? Feel that we could become more than what we really are. And that is exactly the sentiment that I share. Dr. No Good, what's going on, my brother? I remember the problem with power. It is a powerful episode. And you know what? Funny you should mention it because that is exactly what we're going to be looking at tonight. Radical Toys, what's going on, brother? Jay, I'm so bummed out about the passing of John. He was on Rawhide, mom's favorite show. Yeah, yep. Great cowboy, on screen. Wonderful, wonderful, Legend Adam. Rodimus, he was a very shy guy. Alan Oppenheimer often said that he wanted John to come to cons. Rest in peace to a legend. Absolutely, Rodimus. Thumbs up to everybody. Hit that like button. Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you so much. Shannon Kalhoff, Eternian Immortal now. Yes, he has moved on to Paternia and has claimed his great prize. Justin Mohan, do you know when the Vintage Masterverse Skeletor will be released in Canada? Unknown. I mean, like I think it's a Target exclusive, so it'll probably come to somebody, maybe probably more than likely Walmart, and maybe even GameStop. I guess we'll find out. Carlos Cruz, I didn't hear his voice until I was in my mid-20s. As I saw He-Man dubbed, he did an awesome job. Will be greatly missed. Absolutely, he will never be forgotten. Hector, what's going on, my friend? John Erwin was and always will be our He-Man. Yes, my friend. Absolutely. Caceres, Hector, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Someone, very sad, my friend. Yes, we're all not going to be on many dry eyes tonight. It's going to be pretty crazy. Master Phil Stone Hunter, what's going on, brother? Good evening. Happy JJ Mega Helmet, good sir. Sharing my thoughts to all from Eternia. We had indeed have lost our champion, and now he resides in Paternia. Yes, that's true, Eldor. That's true. Thank you. Made our childhoods awesome and unforgettable. Yes, Hector. Lab Rat, good journey. Good journey, John. Absolutely. James Morrison. Jay, loving the Figure Me channel, dude. Good stuff. Creative. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it, man. And I hope everyone will check it out. It's something that's fun for all of us. We got a guest coming in, but let me finish off these last comments. Steve M, the voice of He-Man, Reggie from the Archie's cartoon, and Morris the Cat from Nine Lives Advertising, and is so talented. Yes, absolutely, just a wonderful talent, a one of a kind, really. Master Toy Hunter, we await the day that the new champion arises, but we all have the power to be a champion of the dark times. Yes, we all do, 100%. Hector, just call me Hector. It's all right, brother. I'm not very good at pronouncing names, so I apologize for that. And Chad, Jay, I got my anti-Eternia battle cat today. Dude, congratulations. That thing is a beast. And of course, you are talking about the Mondo edition. So huge. Awesome stuff. Joining us right now is, of course, a good friend of the channel, and of course, Transformers aficionado and historian extraordinaire. Guys, please help us welcome Rodimus Primal here. Rodimus,
hey,
what's going on, brother? How you doing?
How's it going, Jay? How you been?
Bro, I've been better.
Yeah, I know. It was like sad news for everybody.
Yeah,
man.
it is pretty crazy. How are you doing? Family in California? Like, are they?
No, I live in Florida.
Yeah, I know you live in Florida, but didn't you move from California? I thought that.
No, I moved from Jersey.
Oh, Jersey, that's what it was. I apologize.
Yeah. I know. You live in Canada, so for you, it's like
it's kind of hard to figure out which side of the state that is.
I get. It's funny because I have friends who live in who live in Canada, and they'll like I completely am confused about where, like, if you ask me where Vancouver or Montreal or whatever, I'm like, or Toronto, I'm like, where? So it's like the same thing, like, because New Jersey is just south of New York on the East Coast, and then I moved down to Florida. So
got you. Yeah. So I knew where New Jersey was. I mean, I've been there a couple of times, but Florida is one of those things. It's either the west or the east, so it's one of those two, right? So,
well, I mean, I'm in central Florida. I'm like an hour north of Orlando, and I'll actually be at MegaCon for the Hasbro's HasLab thing they're gonna do. I'm like eager to see that. But just get back on topic with
Yep.
He-Man.
Yeah. But
Um,
one thing I wanted to ask you before we move on. Did you have to shovel snow? Like what's going on down
when
there?
I lived in New Jersey, yeah.
No, no, no. Haven't you
Oh,
heard?
I know, I know, I
Yeah.
know, I know. In where I live it got as cold as like 30 degrees, which
Holy crap.
is
That's pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is pretty cold.
Yeah.
For Fahrenheit, of course,
Yeah,
because
yeah, of course. That's
you're
closer to that's like 10 or 8 or something like that. Is it like
I
it's pretty
think
close.
yeah. I don't know. Like it's
Above
cold.
it's above freezing though, right? That's I think that's easier for us to understand.
No, I mean it got like some nights it got as cold as like 26 degrees, so it
There
was
you go.
below freezing.
So crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So because freezing for Fahrenheit's 32.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got so you were like -2 then, like up here. Because
Yeah.
our zero is where see it's easier for us because we think of zero as freezing. So it's easier for us to figure it out, right? So all of a sudden you say like 32, it's like what the hell are you talking about, right?
No,
So
I know. And then when we say like 90 degrees, that's actually like 30 degrees for you.
yeah, because we think that's like I remember the first time I heard somebody say it's 100 degrees on you guys are boiling water? Like what's going on over there? Like it
Yeah.
was pretty crazy. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I know that like Carlos and JP, good friends of the channel, they live in Florida too, and they say that the lower half of Florida was spared,
Yeah,
the
we
snow.
got it
Right?
cold. I mean, it was
Yep.
cold, like it was like really bitter cold. We actually had to turn the faucets on in the middle of the night, just like a drip overnight.
You know what's
Because
you know what's crazy?
yeah.
Because you live in Jersey, right? You're like, this is nothing to me. But Floridians must have been like going, oh God, we're
Oh
gonna
yeah,
die.
yeah. Dude, I I have friends who are locals here and like they see me in shorts and they're like, "Aren't you cold?"
No, they don't know,
Which
man.
for you as a Canadian, like
Oh, dude.
you'd come down here and
Brother, I'm telling you, like I was watching some of the clips, and I was like, "Oh my god, they have no plows, they've got no shovels, like people, like they didn't, poor, yeah, I
they
feel bad."
and people in Pensacola never experience
Oh
snow.
god, that's crazy.
Never. So like for them to get 9 inches of snow. Now I posted a picture up on my Facebook from when I was in Jersey and we had 18 inches of snow and I had to shovel it. My kids were helping out, dig out the cars and stuff. So, you know, like I'm very, very familiar with snow. So I have like again, those same Florida friends, when I tell them I'm like, no, we had a shovel like 18 inches of snow. They're like, oh my gosh. So what's going on, Dr. No Good? Hey, everybody. I know everybody was coming in, but you know, but I figured I would pop in, talk He-Man and
Yeah,
talk some Transformers, talk some nerdy stuff,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. But I know this
um,
is like, we're focused on He-Man tonight, so
yeah,
which is
yeah,
so cool.
yeah. But we can still talk about everything. I mean, like
Yeah.
it is. We have to celebrate life. We can't mourn.
Of course not. Of course not.
So
I mean I can sit here and reminisce not only from growing up on He-Man,
sure.
but and loving the show. I mean, I had a viral post I remember because I posted one of the morals at the end of an episode of He-Man on Twitter.
Yeah.
And it was right around the time that Masters of the Universe Revelation, the first season came out, and I didn't say anything. All I did was post the "It's not good to lie."
Yeah, that'll get people's attention for sure.
I didn't post anything. It was
Yep,
just the video.
yep. That'll
And
move.
it was just, I think it was both. I think it was, yeah, it was He-Man himself saying that.
Yeah, that'll go.
And people were like, I don't know who this Rodimus guy is, but he wins the internet.
Yeah, man. Because again, we all grew up like many of us who grew up in the '80s. We all grew up with everybody knows who He-Man is, right?
Yeah.
So even if you're not a He-Man fan, you still remember those PSAs. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like PSAs were part of the '80s, man. They were because it was a requirement for the government to make sure that they were educational sections in
Yeah.
cartoons, right? It was in GI Joe, it was in He-Man, it was in. Ironically, it was not in Transformers.
Well,
Oh,
there
okay.
were 5 produced. They were apparently aired in some places in the UK.
Oh,
And because in the UK, the way that they aired the cartoon was completely weird and off. but but the DVDs actually have those PSAs. And they
Gotcha.
are just basically word for word 5 GI Joe PSAs, but with GI Joe, I mean, with Transformers characters redoing them.
That's crazy.
So like Red Alert, I actually just did a Red Alert video, so I can tell you, the Red Alert one was the same one as Dusty telling the kids to wear reflectors at night. And so Red Alert is driving and he almost mows down these two kids. And then he transforms and picks them up. Are you guys okay? Yeah, like
You
you
almost
guys
killed us,
wearing
but we're
reflectors,
fine.
right? And now I know, and knowing is half the battle. The
He
Transformers.
actually
So there
said
actually was,
knowing is half the battle. Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah. So it even has that.
That would have been that stupid catch-all phrase, because again, they're fighting too, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so
And there's that one. There is I know, I think it was Shipwreck did the wearing boat, wearing life jackets on a boat.
Yep.
So Sea Spray did that one.
Okay.
And I think Paraglide did the, girls can participate too,
Oh yeah.
which I forgot which one that was in the but it
There
was
was
only
one.
5 of them. It was only
Yeah.
5 of them produced.
Still, that's great.
Yeah.
It's a great little factoid that'll come up once in a while. What was your experience with Master Universe, Rodimus? Like,
So before Transformers, obviously, I was into He-Man,
yeah, everyone is.
Um, but which was, odd because I mean I was born in 81.
Sure.
So so from oh.
Yeah.
So He-Man
Focus.
was like already a part of what I was growing up with, was already one of the cartoons that I was watching on a regular basis. He-Man, Transformers, GI Joe, Voltron, like you name it, like when I was still living in New York, because I was born in New York. And then obviously moved down to New Jersey. And then I ended up getting so many He-Man figures that I was like literally like before I got a whole bunch of Transformers was all He-Man. I had a whole bookshelf full of figures, vehicles, you name it. I had He-Man, I had the Horde, I had, like what have you. And I remember when She-Ra came out, it was like I knew I had to get a She-Ra figure to accompany He-Man, and also because I already had a Horde, a Hordak figure. I had gotten a bunch of the Horde. And I remember seeing at Radio City Music Hall, I saw the He-Man and She-Ra Power Tour.
I always wanted to watch that.
Yeah. I remember like this big dancing Orko. There was this guitar guy, and it was kind of cool. It was kind of crazy. At the same place at Radio City Music Hall, I also saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out of their Shells tour.
Oh, you saw
Yeah.
them all, man.
Yeah. And so like I remember seeing that and was like, because I was Turtle Mania obviously hit me,
Yeah,
but
everyone was.
but He-Man, by that point I know He-Man was on its way out, so was Transformers at that point, so to speak.
Mhm.
Like, but at that same time, it's like the He-Man movie came out, and I remember seeing the He-Man movie in the theater.
Oh, loved it.
Which not everybody loved, and because it was weird. It was like 86 was Transformers, 87 was the Power Tour, obviously,
Sure.
but also the He-Man movie, I think, came out in 87.
Yep.
Gosh, what came out else in 87 that was
A bunch. Like, when was the Never Ending Story? I think that was like 90. I think that was 80, 86. I think
86 was Transformers. I know that.
Yeah.
Karate Kid 2.
Yeah.
I think was 86.
Yeah.
Because I think 89, but I saw him theatrically. Like my parents took me to the movies.
That is awesome.
For me, my parents, the first movie I ever saw was Return of the Jedi in the theater. Like,
Get out of town.
but I don't even remember seeing it because it was my parents' date night. They would go out to the movies and take me out or whatever.
That is so cool.
Like I saw all these movies. I saw the Goonies. I saw, I grew up on a bunch of 80s stuff, man. And my parents were nerds just as much as I was. Like my dad used to fix copiers for Xerox in Manhattan. So
that is so cool.
Yeah. And he survived 9/11 too. But then so like they would go to Star Trek conventions before I was born. They would like my mom has pictures. My mom has a picture on her wall of her with Scotty at a Star Trek convention.
Really?
Yeah. Also has a photograph of meeting Adam West in the Batman costume, like he was in costume as Batman. So that was like, real
That's
fun there.
crazy. Really?
Yeah. Right. So obviously, loving He-Man, loving all those other, shows, but the moral stuff in He-Man, believe it or not, which was weird because I'm already a Christian, so like I'm going to church and there's that, but the same throughput of morals were definitely there in the He-Man cartoon.
Yeah, yeah.
And you could
There
pick up
was
on it.
there was a cartoons of the 80s were prevalently, like there was a mild religious overtones, for a lot of the messages
Mhm.
that were in
Even if they didn't have to, even if
yeah,
the people working on it that weren't necessarily Christian,
yeah,
there were certainly that same foundational
sure.
moral throughput.
Yeah, and
But
it's just being good to each other too, right? Like
yeah.
the beatitudes, the station the
Mhm.
stations, right? Just again, the freaking Ten Commandments, all that crazy stuff. And you know what? There's a lot of parallels between Judaism and Christianity and
Mhm.
Catholicism.
Yeah, yeah.
So that can homogenize to become a message. You know what I
Right. It
mean?
could be there's a good moral
Yeah,
foundation, right?
exactly. And I think
So
that in the
He-Man
80s there
had
was a
it,
big thing.
Thundercats had it,
Mhm.
G.I. Joe had the good public safety.
Yep.
I mean, Transformers, believe it or not, I mean, even though the episodes weren't there in the Transformers, there was certainly I think pretty much every cartoon had some form of like throughput of a good morality message in the episode. Some of them you can kind of like go, oh, come on, really? Like, there's this one episode of Ninja Turtles, and because I just was watching it recently, I think it was like the one guy was trying to some thing that invention that he made was getting out there, and he's like, "You have to, Turtles, you have to save me, save it from getting it." And at the end of the episode, they're like, "Well, if it was broken already, why did you want us to save it?" And it's like, "Well, I was still going to try to make money. You were trying to make money." And I was like, "Really?" So I get it. I
Yeah.
mean, there
Those
is
are
some,
those are, what's it called? Shoehorned in there, right?
yeah, that's when
They're
you
just
really feel you're like,
yeah,
what? Like, that didn't
yeah,
make any sense.
yeah.
It
But
didn't matter.
even so I felt a lot of those were in Master Universe too, because sometimes you'd watch a whole episode, and then at the end, they would do this PSA, and it's like, that none of that happened in the episode. They literally felt like they were just, like, putting a moral message at the end just for a moral message,
Right.
right? And it was really nice when it actually connected to the episode, but oftentimes,
Yes.
like when they started to run the gambit of morality in the episodes, they just sort of just shoehorn something in. It's like be careful when you're crossing the street. It's like, wait, attorneys have a street? Like,
Yeah,
how does
no,
it go
I
wrong?
liked it when like there was the one episode of I forgot which episode it was. There was an episode of Transformers with like the God Gambit, and in that episode, it was basically like not to worship a robot deity or something like that. I guess like was kind of like weird, but
Yeah,
I guess it worked for the episode. But it was just kind of like to be wary of weird weird figures out there. Just certain things that
yeah,
if you even if you can just take a little nugget of good stuff out of there. But even so, the action was good in the cartoon for the time. Obviously censors, he couldn't slash you with a sword.
yeah,
Um but I mean, when the 2003 cartoon came, it was a 2002, 2003, somewhere
yeah.
around
We
there.
call it 2000X because
Yeah.
it just encompassed the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
When that cartoon came out, I was really excited about that
yeah,
cartoon coming
yeah.
out. Like I
It
was like,
was
dude, they took He-Man seriously, but it still had what made the original show good too. Like
yeah,
there was that throughput of like the Filmation cartoon that we all loved, and then this, new cartoon, and Cam Clark doing He-Man in that show. So when the Revelation show came out, a lot of us really wanted that same Filmation feel
Yeah.
out of that next cartoon.
Yeah. It
Um,
it's always hard when another team takes over. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like Mike Young, again, he added that sort of anime action to that, which was prevalent at the time. And it was high energy and all this stuff, but at the same time, it still felt like you could still learn lessons from it. You know what I mean? It still felt like a kids show, right? Whereas Revolution, they were definitely made for adults. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it was adult tilting, and it was
hmm
all that.
Which to some degree, I think there has to be a balance. There
Yeah.
absolutely has to be a balance. You have to. I've been noticing this a lot with like the 2000 X cartoon did that. It was that good balance between trying to be more on the adult side and more with a like that good balance between the two.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I don't know, like a lot of the newer stuff with He-Man I wasn't really feeling, and I think that's to its
Yeah. A
to
lot
the
of
franchise's
people.
detriment, but
You're right, and it wasn't what people were expecting, and
yep.
it was exactly what you were saying. Like I think a lot of people were hoping for Filmation again, right? A whole lot of
Mhm.
people were hoping for 2000X again, and some people were
There
even
has
hoping,
to be a balance.
yeah, some
Has
people
to
were,
be a balance.
and some people were hoping for new adventures, right? There's just like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who arguably has done it way better. Every generation has a sort of He-Man esque, type of connection, right? So, when people moved on from Filmation, there was the New Adventures crew who people grew up with that and they loved it. Then after that, a few years later, they went to 2000X and people absolutely, connected with that. And then literally it took another 15 years to almost 20 years to get to where we are now. And unfortunately, people were looking for very much the same what they had back in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, and they didn't get that. So a lot of
Yeah.
people were very, very disappointed.
What and I know that we didn't even I didn't even bring up the New Adventures.
I'm not a New Adventures fan. I am not.
No,
Like
it didn't
like
feel like He-Man.
no, that's the problem.
It
And
was
and
so far removed.
it is. And
I
and it,
think that
it is the black sheep. It is the black sheep of the family. It really is.
yeah, it was
But there
definitely I wonder if it's more of the black sheep than the newer stuff, but like the She-Ra cartoon, the 85 She-Ra cartoon was great. Like, it was
mhm,
actually a really good
absolutely.
cartoon. Like,
Great.
I was surprised like, when I did a He-Man rewatch, I went through both He-Man and She-Ra, and, I was actually surprised how good She-Ra was, which is
Yeah.
why He-Man because He-Man had his cameos.
Mhm.
There should have been another season of He-Man, but they didn't.
Yeah.
But it was like for me though, like just to go to start to hone it in a little bit.
Sure.
Um, He-Man himself, that voice, and of course Skeletor's voice,
Yeah.
are just legendary. You know
They
what I
are.
mean? Like you
Mhm.
really can't replace that. I mean,
No.
Cam Clark did a fantastic job. Um, what was the actor's name in He-Man in Revelation? Do you remember?
Honestly, all I know is that he's married to to what's her name? Melissa Benoit. That's all I know now. I didn't even realize that was
Oh,
the
okay,
case, but
okay.
that's actually why she got the job.
I think he
Um,
did a decent job, like, it was okay. Oh, Chris Wood,
Chris
okay, I
Wood.
see.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
But I think that the like, as far as a He-Man voice and, like, bringing it, like, you really can't replace that
Can't.
same,
No, you can't.
uh, way John Erwin brought it. It
Yeah.
was it was it was legendary. It was
He
the
had a
same thing with
deep.
Peter Cullen and Optimus Prime, like, how do
Yes.
you like, you can't replace
Yeah.
that. You can't Alan Oppenheimer as Skeletor is just amazing. I met Alan. I at least had the opportunity to meet both Melanie Britt and Alan Oppenheimer. Um, Both of them were great people, great people. Um,
Absolutely.
in
Absolutely.
person. The Cam Clark, I actually got a chance to meet as well. He was obviously more talking about Leonardo than than He Man, but
But he still has fond memories of He-Man too. Like
yeah, and
he's
he did a good job as He-Man
and
too. I just, everyone's gonna, I had someone was commenting, I think, on to me on Twitter, and was sitting there going like, "How do you always? Why do you older fans always, you know, compare everything to the original?" And like with Transformers, we're always comparing every Optimus to Peter Cullen.
Well, I
We're
mean,
comparing every Transformers show to G1. Why?
yeah,
Because
why not? Why wouldn't you?
that's where it all started. That's where the
Exactly.
mania for the franchise began. It all began there.
Exactly.
So if it's that all of that is going to be okay.
I'm just flashing comments that and Nervous Suit always has some great comments to suggest, but
I was what was the character's name
which one?
in the original She-Ra cartoon? It's late at night, so I'm like losing my train of thought.
There's several. So who do
No, it
you
was the
know?
love interest for She-Ra in the
That's
original.
Bo. That would be Bo.
No, well, no, not Bo.
Are you
He
talking
was
about
the pirate.
Sea Spray?
See, yeah,
Sea no, no, not Sea Spray. Sorry, it's
yeah,
Sea something. I can't remember. Somebody can. I'm pretty sure.
Seahawk.
There it is.
There it is. There
I
it
could
is.
rely on Nerd with a Suit to
Seahawk.
get it
Yep,
right
yep.
away.
I loved the two of their. I loved their dynamic in the original show.
Yeah,
Um,
there
and
was the She-Ra arguably was a bit more mature
yep.
than He-Man, and the reason being is because it had the benefit of being a slightly grown up version. Because again, people had grown up with He-Man and now they're a little bit older, so
Mhm.
the writers recognized that, right? So they went ahead and said, okay, maybe she has personal
I
relationships.
think what cemented He-Man fans to liking She-Ra was the fact that He-Man cameoed enough times to bridge that gap.
Mhm.
Seahawk, yeah, definitely Seahawk.
Yep. I mean, bro, it started with Bo, but as soon as Seahawk came into the picture, Bo was pretty much out. Like he was,
Mhm.
he was pretty
I
much
mean,
done.
Bo was around. I mean, he was always there to do stuff, but
Yeah, no, but he really did try at one point. He was really very much trying to you know what I think it was actually. I think it was Adora he was trying to get with, right? I think Bo was trying to get to Adora, and Seahawk was definitely trying to get with Shira,
Mhm.
and that it was that gem thing where she has relationships with one guy, but it's like they're the
Yeah.
same person, right?
Yep.
So it was very very strange, but
Or that's kind of funny. I was I've been watching Super Sentai, and have you ever the series that came before Power Rangers was Shojin Sentai Jetman,
okay, yep,
and the Yellow Ranger, he's the goofball of the group. He's kind of a little overweight or whatever, and he tries flirting with the white pink ranger or whatever,
hmm
um the or white swan as she is, because they're all bird themed, and but he has this one girl that he grew up with, but he was a goofball with it, and she deduces that he is the Yellow Ranger,
oh, okay,
but at the end of the episode she's like, oh, I fell in love with the yellow condor guy,
yeah,
or the yellow the what was the yellow owl, I think is
okay,
his I fell in love with that, the yellow guy. And then when she gets on the train and and leaves, and leaves him to go back to town, she's on the train and goes, um I love you, yellow owl or whatever, Raita, like
yeah,
his name, and she acknowledges that he's this one and the same.
sure, sure.
But I thought that was a cool dynamic to like have the secret identity is still there, but
Yeah, but
she deduced it.
they've discovered the secret. Yeah, and that has happened, and that was actually what Revelation and Revolution was supposed to be about, right? But they
Mhm.
took it in a slightly different direction where she was pissed off, and a lot of people
I
just
didn't
did
like it.
not appreciate that. Right?
Yeah,
So it
that was
was,
what you were saying before. Like
yeah,
fans were expecting this throughput that
yeah,
felt like it needed to feel like it was a continuation, not like it was a shoehorned story change. And I think that's why people didn't receive it so well. I did not see past the first 10 episodes. I didn't see like the second season or whatever it was.
believe it or not, the second season is actually much more what you would expect from a series that you were hoping for.
Okay.
So if you decide one day just to finish it, you should. The ending is much more satisfying. I mean, very much so.
Okay.
I think a lot of people really appreciated Revolution. Um, all right, so since we're on the topic, let's learn a little bit more about John Erwin. So, guys, if you're just joining us right now, He-Man has gone to Preternia to claim his great prize. Rest in peace, John Erwin. He will be missed, as Rodimus said earlier. Much like Optimus Prime, his voice will, like, all of us here. Whenever we think of He-Man, we all hear John Erwin. If you're born
Mhm.
at a certain age, in a certain age group. It's hard to separate John Erwin from that. And of course, we to learn a little bit more about the man John Erwin. We can look a little bit at his filmography. I mean, he did so many things. He was obviously extremely well known for Master Universe. Um, Back to the Future Part 2. I don't know what he played there. It was probably a background character, but he did obviously the She-Ra specials. Apparently, he was in Babe. I didn't even know that, and he was Reggie in the Archies. And apparently, he did a guest appearance on Family Guy, probably as He-Man. I would imagine,
Probably, yeah.
more than likely as He-Man. Yeah, right there. Family, one episode is He-Man. I mean, it just makes sense, right?
Probably came
And
in for one of the cutaways.
yep, he was another voice in Babe. He was in Back to the Future as the radio sportscaster. Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
That was him on the radio when they were winning. When they were telling when Biff was showing him he made old Biff was making a bet with young Biff, so he was the radio broadcaster. Uh,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
in Skeletor's Revenge, obviously all the He-Man specials, and then of course, like I said, New Archie as Reggie. He was in Aesop's Fables, Archie's TV Funnies.
Kind of wish we got to know more about him as a
Yeah,
person. Like, you know, okay, you're retired from acting,
yeah.
but like there does come a point where people want to know a little bit more about you, but I guess it's just
He
that's
was such a
just his
private
way of,
person. Yeah,
you know.
as you said earlier, he was such a shy and private person. He didn't want to mix his professional life with his personal life, and part of that was not going to conventions. Right? He didn't like. I think somebody earlier had mentioned that he felt, or maybe it was you too, Rodimus. He felt that he didn't want to embarrass the fans, or disappoint the fans. I think that's what it was said. But I don't think any one of us would have been disappointed with him at all. To learn a little bit more about it, our good friends over at foreternia.com actually wrote um, a wonderful article on this, and I just want to take a couple of passages from here. A legend passes away. The iconic He-Man voice actor John Erwin has died. So it goes on to say, we have some incredibly sad news to report. John Erwin, the legendary voice of He-Man for the classic 1980s film cartoon series He-Man and the Master Universe, has died. So born in 1936. Wow. He would have been
He was 88.
80,
He was
89,
88.
88, 88. Yes. Okay. 88, 89. Wow. That's crazy. John had quite a wonderful career in the entertainment industry, starring impressively as with a recurring role in the hit television series Rawhide. So that was him in Rawhide. John Erwin even voiced Morris the Cat, the star of the popular long-running television series commercial for nine. Oh, wow. Is that right? Now, you know what? I can hear it. Now I can hear it in my head. Because do you remember those Nine Live Cat food commercials? They were hilarious. And
No, I
now I can definitely hear that voice in my head. Because he'd be the one, kind of like Garfield. I think that's what they were trying to get at. That he was kind of a Garfield kind of type character,
huh.
and he had this really deep voice. And
I wonder if Lorenzo Music, that's where he got the well, no, probably maybe not.
but there, of course, there was no other popular role that John played well, where he was touched more people's hearts than in the role of He-Man in the classic cartoon He-Man: The Masters of the Universe. John Erwin voiced other great characters in Eternia 2, dozens of characters from Web Store. Oh, he voiced Granomir? Oh my gosh. That's awesome. I didn't know he voiced Granomir. Granomir is one
I
of my
can hear it.
absolute.
I can hear it.
I can hear it too.
Yeah, I can hear John Erwin's that same He-Man tone,
Yeah,
but as a wiser older dude. Like,
absolutely.
can you imagine if John Erwin came back as like as a character in one of the later He-Man shows as an older, wiser He-Man or a father figure or
Yeah.
something like that too? Like, or even they should have got him for Prince Randor. I mean, for King Randor, I'm sorry.
That would have been cool, yeah. But I like the casting overall. But yeah, I can hear the Granomir for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But Granomir is one of my all-time favorite characters. I just love the disdain. I love the hatred for human being. I love it. John,
It's that skeleton thing, right?
yeah. Granomir? No,
No,
Granomir is
it's not skeleton. I'm sorry, dragon.
yeah, the dragon. Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. But
you
it
could
was
tell it's getting to be 1 a.m. in the
I
morning.
know it's true. But it was John's powerful performance as a He-Man, noble and honest, strong yet warm, that embodied the spirit of He-Man perfectly, as well as Prince Adam. And you said it perfectly, Rodimus. He very much is an Optimus Prime type of character. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like that voice carries so well, but at the same time, it's gentle yet strong. And that's been a very big association with Optimus Prime, and as well as with He-Man.
Yep.
We can't overstate this, but John was He-Man, and it has been that way for over 40 years. This is true. Um, as I said earlier, when you look at the He-Man, this He-Man, if you look at Filmation He-Man, you can hear John's voice in your head. That's just the way it is. And today we learned that John Erwin had died of natural causes. I'm glad he passed away.
Around December, they didn't even give you
Yeah,
the day.
yeah, that's
Like they
crazy.
tell you it was around December 20th.
Yeah, last year, in his home in Camarillo, California. Again, he was a very private person, right? He was a very private person.
Yep.
Alan
And his
Oppenheimer.
family, I know his family didn't want a more recent photo of him, I guess,
Yeah,
shown.
probably because of how it ended, but
Well, also because he was, like you said,
a
he's a
very
private
private
guy.
person, right? Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. So Alan Oppenheimer, the voice of He-Man's evil nemesis Skeletor, had this to say about the passing of John. Working with John Erwin was the ballad of irrelevance, professionalism, and surprise. He was a series. He was a series of actor, writer, performer of commercials, musicians, painter, and an all-around lovely gentleman. An indelible addition to my life, Alan Oppenheimer. Actress Melody Britt, who played She-Man's twin sister She-Ra in the 1980s.
you're doing the same thing, dude.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
am.
good.
But in the 1985, it is 1 o'clock in the morning. In the 1985 television series She-Ra, the Princess of Power, and starred with John in the Christmas specials and multiple She-Ra episodes. Some of them formed into theatrical films. He-Man and She-Ra, The Secret of the Sword, made the following statement: "The letter to my brother. This is a PDF. Sorry, a JPG, so I can't really highlight it.
Mhm.
Aside from being friends in real life, for 40 years we had been a team. We were He-Man and She-Ra. To have my brother pass on is a tremendous sorrow. Even though I know life is not infinite, the tears I have are because John was such a special, quiet man, and we shared a very special relationship in those roles as twin brother and sister. Your body of work will live in the hearts of so many people whom you gave love and strength and hope and laughter in times of difficulty and the need to be calmed by laughter and hope. Working with you gave me strength and hope, caring as well. I remember the work times when I felt I could stand on your shoulders when I was going through a difficult day, times when you reminded me of who I was portraying, your twin, She-Ra, the most powerful woman in the world. There were wonderful moments with all of our fellow actors, times of good work, times of sincere caring, and times of joyous laughter. Now that you are gone, I cannot say hello anymore. My heart aches, and you lived your life the way you wanted to live it. I'm glad I had a few lines of your voice message to me to listen to, and as well watched as you portrayed He-Man and said, I have the power. You did and still do. The joy and camaraderie you gave me will keep me will keep giving me the strength you always wanted me to share. After all, we're twins. He-Man, She-Ra forever. Wow, that was hard
That
to
was
get through.
cool.
That was hard to
That
get through.
was that was
That was
that was so
touching. That
heartfelt.
was touching.
And
And
it's sad. It's like both him and like I saw in the comments, Linda Gary also passed on back in '95. It's just really sad, you know. I mean, it's like so many of our childhood heroes. It's like when here they pass on, it's like it's difficult to cope with because a lot of us grew up with these folks like I said, like how do y'all see you hear He-Man than with John Erwin, and uh, to go on from that, it's difficult.
It is. It is very
So
difficult. In closing, what else can we say? This is very hard to process. The power of John Irwin's voice as our hero of He-Man entered our hearts and our minds, and so many of us as children. And he has never left. It is not hyperbole to say that John helped guide us. He reassured us. He helped shape us into the men and women we have become today. And in our hearts, he has never left. We mean it. He has never left. And now, everything has changed. Everything feels a bit more cold. John, you will always, always be the most powerful man in the universe to us, and this world feels less good in it without you. We hope you are in a better place. We thank you. We miss you, and we will never forget you. AJ, those are wonderful, beautiful words, and our deepest condolences go to the family, out to John Irwin's family and loved one. So
when
this
that
was the
was
most
him,
recent photo we have of John, when he was healthy and happy. Um, he was born December 5th, 1936, and died, wow, December 20th, 2024. That is a full life. That's why that's why he's 38 years old. We were thinking he was 39, but yeah, he's, wow. Rest in peace. I want to thank fortunia.com AJ who wrote this article. Wonderfully written, I have to say.
definitely.
AJ, of course, is a good friend of the channel, and wow, that is pretty crazy. Toy Sorceress is in the house.
And I'm just gonna say this.
Sure.
I know this is cliche to say. What's going on there, Toy Sorceress? It's cliche to say this, but these folks, like, it's darker, yes, without these folks in our lives anymore. Like, they're no longer alive. But think about this: we grew up with them, and they became just as much a part of us in a way. So they never really are gone. And especially for those of us who have kids to share it with, or you have friends with kids to share it with, or nieces, nephews, that you can share exactly that. I have the entirety of the original cartoon on DVD. I could easily pop that into one of my DVD players, and I can share an episode or two with my kids. A lot of them are on YouTube. I'm not sure if every single episode's on YouTube, but so, and the lessons that we learned from it, we need to carry on. The even like, you think about how silly it might sound, but like, um, but these memories obviously live on with us, for us to be able to help make the world a better place, so that our kids could live in a better place, knowing that the lessons that we learned, we can pass on to them, from the lessons that we learned from those of us who had good parents, to characters like He-Man, what John Erwin, pumped in, poured into that role, to what Peter Cullen did with Optimus Prime, to all of that. Like, all of that is just a piece. Yes, it was a piece of our childhood, but it's also something that we take with us everywhere we go. So it gone but never forgotten.
Absolutely, and that's not cliche.
Yeah.
Those are words which are. It's easy to pass off things as being cliche, but what they actually are is words to live by, and
Hmm.
words that resonate throughout the ages. It's sentiments that can be adopted in any time, and they should never be. They, as you said it so eloquently, Rodman said, they should never be forgotten.
Hmm.
Right, and that's the way it should be. James Morrison, don't just mourn, be grateful. We are so lucky to have grown up when we did. Yes, 100%,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yep.
Emerald Knights, good to see you, brother. As long as you have childhood in your heart, then our heroes will always be with us. They will never be truly gone. 100%. Wonderful sentiments all around, and wonderful words from everybody. John will always be our He-Man. You guys are doing it, man. You guys are killing me, man. That it was hard to get through that letter, but we made it. You know what I mean? And I want to give another huge shout out to foreternia.com. I mean, like, AJ's been doing a really great job over there, and he's a great friend to the channel. Um, so a lot of condolences for coming in, and thank you guys for being here tonight. I want to thank Rodimus for being here for sure. He didn't have to come in; he just popped in, and of course, thank you, Rodimus, for
Of
popping.
course,
Always,
I
always,
consider you a friend, so
yeah, of course, and we appreciate that. I know it's getting late over there, so if you need to bow out at any time, just let us know. Because what we're going to do now is we're probably going to go through an episode, and you don't have to stick around for that. It's just one of these things where I just want to hear John's voice again. But of course, you are welcome to stay if you'd like. And I will caution you, because the last time I tried to do this, they did shut down the stream, so it was a bit fun. But you know what? Today I think I'm going to risk it again and see what happens. But again, Rodimus, if you need, I
yeah,
know. It's
I'm gonna bounce out
okay.
for now.
So,
And
Rodimus, how can people reach you, and what are you working on your channel right now?
well, currently I've got my YouTube channel is Rodimus Primal. If you're into Transformers, I do a lot of retrospectives. I do news videos as well, covering like the different Transformers news. I'll be at MegaCon in Orlando to see the new Transformers HasLab, because the Hasbro team is going to be there. And I'm always working on new retrospectives and discussions and stuff like that. I am currently working on a character that I have. I just finished my Red Alert retrospective, and which is why I was talking about this earlier. But I'm now working on a script for another character that some folks have been asking me for, and then I'm going to try and see what I can do, for other characters too. And if there's anything that you guys want me to do, I like to do research on this stuff. I really go deep dive, and you'll know when you got a video that's like 18 minutes long covering an Autobot that you think that is not going to be in a lot of stuff, but oh wow, he is in a lot of stuff. So yeah, so it's fun times. And so that's what I do. You can also find me on Twitter/X at Rodimus Primal, Rodimus Primal Show, as both on Facebook and on Instagram. So you can find me there. Yeah.
Guys, please definitely check out Rodimus Primal on YouTube. If you're into retrospectives, there are some surprising ones in there, and you know what? They're so entertaining and so informative. I want to thank Rodimus for joining us again. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate it. And we will definitely see him at MegaCon if you guys are going there, because he will definitely be covering that, and we're going to find out firsthand from Rodimus what the new HasLab is going to be. So, good night, Rodimus. Thank you so much for dropping by, and we'll see you soon. Okay.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, brother. Take it easy. It was always great to have Rodimus Primal in the house. And again, guys, definitely subscribe to Rodimus Primal. He's a wonderful toy tuber, and he does some great retrospectives on Transformers. Judd Manville. I wasn't ready for this, and I didn't know. Thank you for being up and positive from Newfoundland. Oh my gosh. Wait, NL, is that a state? Hold on for a second. I'm in Canada, so it is Newfoundland, so it's like there you go, Canadian, good old Canadian. So sorry, Judd. I feel exactly the same way. It's been pretty crazy. Walter Montier, good journey, Rodimus. Yes, good journey, Rodimus. Legends will never die. This is true. He will always be in our hearts. Nerd with the suit. Thank you, Rodimus. Absolutely. Bradshaw Studio. Good morning, my friend. How are you tonight? Huspaz Wolverine. Problem with power would be great. Let's take a look at that. Let's see how far we get. I'd kill for Rodimus to do a deep dive into Transformers Armada. He's done that. You guys should check it out. Ceres Lupan, what's going on, my friend? How are you tonight? I discovered this a little while ago. I didn't even realize it was a thing, but apparently, John Erwin, in his greatness, was obviously a very kind individual. Apparently, he did this, and again, incredibly generous and giving of his time. He reached out to a little boy who was sick, and I don't know if it was really like, if it was. I guess he was just. I'm hoping he was just sick, and I'm hoping he recovered. But apparently, John Erwin and I believe it was Lou Scheimer. It could be possible it was Lou Scheimer. I can't remember exactly, but John, He-Man, and Cringer actually left a message to a sick boy, and this one has been posted by Sage Antone, and you guys can take a look at this. It's on YouTube, but I wanted to play this. I thought it was appropriate, and I think it's a wonderful message, and just something that we can all remember John by, and we can hear his beautiful voice, because it really is one of those things where it's something beautiful to remember that John did. And let's just all listen to it for a moment, because this is He-Man and Cringer speaking to a sick little boy, and trying to encourage him to stay strong and to recover. Let's have a look.
Hello, Joshua. This is He-Man. Somebody told me how much you enjoyed my adventure stories, so I thought I would send this special tape to you. It's yours to keep and play whenever you like. You know, Joshua, I have a lot of problems here on Eternia, but with the help of my good friends, I'm usually able to work things out. That's the way it is with friends. When everything is fine, well, it's great to have them around, you know, to help share the fun, the good times. But when I have a problem, well, that's when I really need them. It's not that they can always do something, but it sure helps just having them there, having a friend to talk to, somebody who really cares about me. Friendship, well, it's a very special thing. And that's why I'm sending you this message. I have a favor to ask. I'd like to be your friend. Well, I'm sure you have a lot of good friends already, and a wonderful mother and father who help you work out your problems. But you can always use another friend. I know you can. Besides, I need a friend on your planet Earth. I mean, someone I can count on. Someone who can count on me. So how about it? Joshua and He-Man. Hey, I like the way it sounds. Wait until I tell Orko. Oh, I almost forgot. Orko, Tila, and Man-at-Arms made me promise to say hello to you for them, and they send their very best wishes. As for Cringer, well, he wanted to tell you himself. Cringer? Cringer? Come over here, Cringer. Now Joshua's listening to us. You want to say hello?
Oh, Joshua, nice to meet you.
All right, Cringer. You know, it's time for us to go, and time for you to become Battle Cat so we can find out what Skeletor is up to.
If you don't mind, I'd rather stay here and talk to Joshua.
No, come on, Cringer. Sorry. Sorry, you old fraidy cat, but we do have to go. Well, Joshua, we're off for another adventure. I've sure enjoyed talking with you, and I hope we can do it again soon. But for now, I'll leave you with these words. So long, friend.
Oh, wow. I mean, listening to his voice and the power inside of it. And it was Ryan Ventek who reminded us that it's actually Cringer's Alan Oppenheimer. And I can't believe I got that wrong. But yeah, it was Alan Oppenheimer as Cringer. And wow, just incredible. I did want to say that huge shout out to Sage Antone, Sage Antone, for posting this. If you guys want to take a look at this, it's titled "Leave He-Man." He-Man leaves a message for a sick boy, John Erwin. And again, you can listen to it. It's up on YouTube, and wow, it's just crazy. Meg, iconic, absolutely, 100%. Like it's crazy. James Morrison, faith in humanity restored. Yeah, he reached out to a sick young boy. I mean, that's crazy. Rodimus Prime, 1982. Damn it, Jay, giving me the feels. Yeah, man, I could barely get through that letter. That letter was that I got choked up there. I got choked up a lot. JSP. I'll admit, I sent a few items a few years back to get signed, but it didn't happen. Still got mad respect for him though, and I bid him a good journey. Again, he was a very private person, so it's always hard, right? Sometimes they just, he doesn't want to involve anyone, in his personal life. Crispy Critter, he's really laughing with him there, and that's awesome. And lucky Joshua, yes, and I hope Joshua recovered, and I'm pretty sure he did. It was a very, very sweet moment. Hey, Rob's in the house, Masters of Mini Comics. He is the reason why I wanted to do voice acting. There you go. And of course, guys, if you haven't already, definitely subscribe to Masters of Mini Comics. He's doing his best tributes to He-Man and the Master of the Universe miniature comics. And he's a wonderful tribute. Alex Valdez, John Erwin, a warrior with a heart. Absolutely. JSP, I don't know if he really appreciated how much of an impact he made on tradition. I think it was, I can't, like, someone said it, and I do believe this. I think that he really was hoping not to embarrass the fans and disappoint the fans. I think that was something that he actually mentioned to somebody. I think it was Alan Oppenheimer, and it's a shame because it would have been really nice to have seen John at a convention and really gotten autographs and let him know how much we appreciated him. Unfortunately, though, that's past. We now just have to appreciate John from afar. Be strong enough to be gentle. Larry Cullen to Peter when he was cast as Optimus Prime. Absolutely. Again, those two have a very incredible parallel, and we're blessed to have listened to both their voices. And luckily Peter's still with us, and Alan Oppenheimer is still with us as well. And hopefully we'll be able to connect with them at some point. Well, guys, it was great having Rodimus Prime drop by and give us an insight as to what he's working on. And of course, I hope you guys do give him a like and a follow and tell him that Jay sent you. He's a wonderful news resource and wonderful toy tuber for Transformers and anything Transformers related. He really is an amazing toy tuber. You guys should definitely check him out if you're into Transformers. Well, guys, this has been a wonderful gathering and remembrance of John Erwin, the great voice actor, and of course, the voice of He-Man. It's been crazy reminiscing over all of these wonderful memories we have of John Erwin, and it really is a shame that he never went to any conventions and was able to feel the love that we as fans had for him. But he was a very private person, and unfortunately that's the way it goes. We have to respect that. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It is a sad one, but we can revel in the fact that John is in a better place now. After all, He-Man has gone on to Preternia, and he has claimed his great prize. Guys, thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining me on remembering John Erwin, the voice of He-Man. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Good journey, everybody. Good journey. John Erwin, He-Man. Geek proud.